So what you have to do first is you have to clone the repo. So how to clone the repo is you, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to go there. Where is the, all right, let me find it. Wait. Give me one sec. Oh yeah, code. You get a code, and then you see this HTTPS. You copy this link. You go to your terminal, and you write git clone, and then you paste that link, and that will clone the repo in your computer on your computer. So you clone. That's how you get the repo. So that's the initial step when you what you have to do. So every time, and then after that, once you already cloned the repo, so I'm gonna go not here, here. So now, um, once you clone the repo, you have this, and you so basically how you can the basic. Let me think. So when you write some code here, let's write print. Let me go select terminal. Okay, cool. So print hello world. So every time you have a change, what you do is you go to the terminal, you do git add with a um asterisk, and you do git commit, and then to make it more organized, write a message that is really like so if anyone else looks at your message, they can understand what you did what kind of changes you made. So here I can write wrote hello world code. So it makes it easier to understand what everyone did. So I do git commit, and once you do that, you git push. All right, this takes. So after that, all the code got pushed on the repository. So now if you go over here, let's go back to the repo. You can see there's a comment, hello, wrote hello world, and you go to two commits over here and tells you like what each changes in the comments that were written here. So this makes it easier to like tell what someone did in the code. So it makes it easier to understand. And then once you do that, another important command is so for instance, Suprita wrote some code and I want to access that code. I just do git pull and that will get me all the code. And it's already up to date and no one else pushed their code. Um, so that's pushing, that's pulling. There's merge conflicts that can happen. And honestly, I'm not an expert on that. So if that happens, just let me know and maybe I can hop on a call and help you fix it. I just don't know exactly how. I just kind of like play around with it until it's fixed. I don't know like a proper technique to do it. But to prevent merge conflicts, what I recommend is just create different files for each different testing. Like if someone's doing NLP, like if someone's trying a specific model, just create a new file. And if you're doing a different type of pre-processing, just create a new file for it. I think that'll make it easier.
That's a good idea. So whenever people are working, I guess what you want to do is clone a new notebook and then do your change.
No, don't go into new notebook. Just create a new file within the within the repo. So I can just create a new file and say pre-processing
Notebook?
number one dot I
Gosh.
IPYNB.
Right.
That's just a new notebook. So it makes it more organized and make sure the titles are very clear. So like anyone who hasn't read your notebook knows like what the title's about.
Okay, perfect.
So that will prevent any merge conflicts. Plus, it'll make it more organized. Plus, yeah, and it's very mark. And whenever you do this, comment your code because since we're working like seven of us are working on one code base, it'll be since some you might write some code that I haven't looked at. So just me writing like a quick description of what the code does would be very helpful. Um, yeah. So this, I think that's the basis. Any other questions? I think that's all you really have to know. This cloning, pushing, and I'll write these commands. I'll send these commands on the group chat. So if you guys forgot, cloning, pushing, and pulling are the three main things. And oh yeah, if not, let's just do that. And just make sure every time. every new technique you have, just create a new file and make sure the title is good. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Yeah, so like I know that like how like we're kind of thinking about it right now is like everyone's working on the main branch. Is that like I don't know if like we want to be working on different branches, but I'm also very bad with Git, so I've not worked on anything outside of the
We
main
could
branch.
we
Yeah.
could do different branch. I was thinking about that. Let me see. Um,
So like I don't want to complicate things too, so
yeah,
like
let's don't work on different branches. Yeah, let's keep it simple. But if anyone wants to know how to do different branches, you just it's fine. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with like how we have it now too, so that works.
Just make sure a good practice is that every time you make a small change, just push it on GitHub. So just in case if you find it's like, oh shoot, I'm getting some weird error, I don't know how to fix it, you have it saved on GitHub. So every time you make a new discovery, just push it on GitHub. So it helps you and it can also help the and also and every time before you start writing, so if you start new code and every time you start writing new code, just remember to pull. Like every time you start working, just do a git pull. So make sure you're up to date before you start working. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's all. I'm gonna write these commands on the group chat. But yeah, any other questions?
Wait, we're working on different files on the same branch as compared to different branches.
Yeah, we could do different branches. See, the reason why I said different files is just because it's gonna be better organized regardless. Like if we have different types of pre-processing in different files, it can help us like better organize. Like looking through like 200 lines of code, it might make it easier for us to look through the code, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You won't have to do merge conflicts, hopefully, if
Yeah,
everyone's
that
fine with it.
would yeah, that's the main reason why I suggested that. The merge conflicts get ugly.
I also think that if we have some different files, when we do like different model approaches, we can use the same pre-processing each time.
Yeah.
So that might be easier for that.
Any other questions?
But we have to have like a clear structure of how we're working through it. Like if two people are working on pre-processing, so they'll have different files, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't want essentially like if people, let's say you're starting to train a model and you both want to use the same pre-processing, so you end up creating like one file or something, like that will cause problems if
Yeah, so
you're
then every time you work
overriding.
on something different, just have a different file for it so it doesn't cause merge conflicts. It'll be better organization, plus we don't have to worry about ugly things happening.
I
Do we
think for
want to put
each
our
different
names?
file, I think we should also have like a detailed, the first thing that should be on each file is a markdown.
Yeah, a markdown of what you're doing and just have your name on it. Yeah, like Nikhil suggested. Have your name and have like a detailed, no, actually, it doesn't have to be detailed, like a 2 to 3 sentence summary of what the file is doing. So whoever's looking at the file, like if I'm training a model and I want to look at pre-processing, I can like understand what the pre-processing does.
Right? With like effectiveness and stuff. I agree.
I think you can put your name on the file name, so it would be easier.
Right.
You can do that too. It might just get too long. I think the file name should definitely be a like a one-word description of what the file does.
Hmm.
Anything else?
All right. Well, I'll post this recording on the document that we have.
Yeah, and I'll write a quick like all the git commands and send it in a group chat.
Perfect. Thank you, Ronak.
No problem.
So I think we're good to go then.
Yeah, did you share that document?
Huh?
Like Saprina, the document